And the headlines. FCT doctors call off strike after Senate steps in. Lagos residents fear homelessness as land grabbing spreads. Inflation, devaluation push Nigerians to lower denominations out of use. On the foreign scene, ex-Ivory Coast President Gbagbo declines backing any candidate in elections. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Maimuna Bagudu. And now we begin with national matters. The Association of Resident Doctors of the Federal Capital Territory Administration has suspended the indefinite strike. The president of the Association of Resident Doctor FCTA, George Ebong, disclosed this on Friday. He said its members are expected to resume work on Monday, 22nd September 2025 at 8 a.m. He noted that the strike suspension comes after the intervention of the Nigerian Senate Committee on Federal Territory Area Councils and Ancillary Matters and Respect for FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. However, Ebong revealed that none of its demands had been met so far. Recall that the Association of Resident Doctors FCTA began an indefinite strike on Monday over poor working conditions, remuneration and other demands. And now we move to Lagos State, where the State Police Command said it has restored peace at the Teju Market shopping complex in Yaba after traders protested a prolonged power outage at the facility. On Thursday, demonstrators stormed the popular market, claiming that the power outage was crippling their businesses. According to eyewitnesses, the demonstration, which began peacefully, turned chaotic when police officers allegedly deployed tear gas to disperse the crowd. But in a statement on Friday, the command's Deputy Police Public Relations Officer, Babasheyi Olusheyi, said 18 suspects had been arrested. According to Olusheyi, the officers of the police mobile force repelled the attacks and firmly protected the bank from invasion by the hoodlums and miscreants and exercised a high level of restraint in their actions. He stated that the command received a distress call that hoodlums and miscreants had started attacking people, demanding goods and properties in Teju Market. Now, the fear of being rendered homeless overnight is becoming a grim reality for many Lagosians as land grabbing and unauthorized demolitions continue across the state. From Owode Onirin to Oworoshoki, the wave of land disputes and violent evictions is leaving destructions in its wake and in some cases costing lives. The report.
Speaking with Trust TV, Tunde Okwonla, a homeowner, emphasized the emotional and financial toll of building a house in today's economy, describing it as a hard-earned achievement.
To build a house now is not easy. To me, I thank God that I build a house when the country is in order. But you cannot, even though when the country is under, you cannot come to my house now and say, you want to demolish it. If you demolish my house now, you demolish my life. Because I'm retiring now, and I'm based on that house, collecting money from that house. So next thing, that will say nothing for me again. I can even pursue myself and go, because there's nothing for me to rely on it. Because my property has been demolished. Who am I in the state, in the country? I'm nothing.
For Muyiwa Orenuga, property owners have a natural and legal claim over their homes, and that any attempt to reclaim land or demolish houses for public projects must come with adequate notice and compensation.
The government is supposed to even inform people that, okay, this thing is going to happen, unlike we're giving them notice. And upon giving them notice, they're supposed to give them maybe something to tangible. So we don't like looking at the house and estimate it and look out the cost as at that time, so that they can pay before demolishing the house. Because many people have been made homeless without having that other means of maybe living, unlike where to stay.
Another concerned resident, speaking off camera, said many of them bought their land 25 to 30 years ago with valid documents.
Whereby someone have bought for the past 25, 30 years ago. You people that have not bought then, when the owner of the land bought it, you now come in, reinforce in order to demolish their house. Where did they want them to start? Which is not good. Even though some people, there are some people that have a C4, whatever, what are we calling it? C4. They will tell you, if you don't have C4, you have anything to collect from the government. It's a lie. Where are they? Past 30 years, when the owner of the land bought it, they are nobody then. And somebody that have built the house for the past 30 years, and before he built the house, maybe is around 30 years old. Then, plus 30 years. What do they want that kind of person to do? After, there must be compensation.
CHCR President, Comrade Alex Omotendi, decried the forceful eviction and destruction of the markets without adequate notice or humanitarian consideration.
These were not criminals. They were innocent Nigerians striving to earn an honest living. And they woke up that regrettable morning to go to their shops, but never returned home, as their blood now crying for justice. And now, who will feed their children? Who will wipe the tears of their widows? Who will carry the burden of their aged parents? All these are questions begging for an answer.
Where
do I even start? I want to send his child to school, but I'm struggling to work properly. He promised to open a shop for me, but the house he rented is still empty because the landlord is demanding he vacates. I'm heartbroken and wondering how we'll move forward. Which son can replace him? I won't see him again. I suffered to give birth to him, and now he's supposed to take care of me. He's gone. It's unbearable to lose a child. The pain will stay with me forever.
For many affected residents, this is more than just a land dispute, it's a fight for survival.
Now, the Nigerian aviation industry has recorded another milestone as the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority issued a fresh air operator certificate in Abuja. The move is part of efforts to expand connectivity and strengthen charter services across the country. Let's take a look at the report.
It's awarded after months of rigorous evaluation, authorizes operations in both passenger and cargo charter services on the NCAA regulations and international aviation standards.
You have proven to them that, yes, you can maintain it. That's why it's not easy. Certificates take sometimes, this thing takes between before 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Some people give up. Maybe that was why you gave up initially. But this very present team here, I told them, try and help the operators achieve what they want to achieve. Every operator that comes to come and do an AOC, they have a set plan that I want to have my AOC.
Industry watchers say new operators entering the sector could help bridge service gaps, open underserved routes, and stimulate activity in trade, tourism, and logistics. Beyond that, they are expected to create direct and indirect jobs while raising competition in the sector.
One thing I want to assure you, sir, this is not just a certificate to us. It is a testament of our shared vision of providing safe, reliable, and world-class air transport in Nigeria and beyond. As we take to the sky under these certificates, we pledge to the authority to foster innovation and contribute to the growth in the Nigerian aviation sector.
Yes, the market is saturated, but I mean there's room for many more players, many more operators, because the air traffic transport is beginning to gain more traction in Nigeria now. Road transport, because of the insecurity and the conditions of the bad roads, people are beginning to fly by road. So,
with multiple players preparing to launch operations, analysts believe the aviation sector could see a ripple effect of investment, better connectivity for Nigerians, and stronger positioning in regional air transport. The NCAA says granting more operational licenses reflects its commitment to a safer, more competitive and business-friendly aviation sector.
And now to Rivers State, where the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has said that he was overwhelmed by the warm reception from the people of the state, assuring the people that his government will continue to do those things that have made the people love his government. Speaking shortly after arriving at the government house in Port Harcourt on Friday, Fubara said he has already scheduled a state broadcast for 6 p.m. on Friday to address the state officially. He said the broadcast would provide an opportunity to acknowledge stakeholders who played vital roles in restoring normalcy to the state. Fubara stated that the reception humbled him and the show of love, confidence and solidarity by the people of the state was overwhelming. Now, in a brazen pre-dawn attack on Friday, unidentified gunmen earlier Friday morning launched an attack at the Council Secretariat of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, in Damaturu, Yobe State capital, leaving one police officer seriously injured. The attack raises concerns about the safety of media professionals in Nigeria's northeast region. The incident occurred around 2 a.m. on September 19, 2025, when armed attackers targeted the NUJ Secretariat building. The gunmen shot the police officer stationed to guard the premises, targeting his leg. According to initial reports, the injured officer was promptly rushed to the emergency unit of the police hospital in Damaturu, where he is currently receiving treatment. Chairman of the NUJ Yobe Council, Rajab Ismail Mohammed, described the incident as both unfortunate and scary for journalists operating in the state. He emphasized the psychological impact on media professionals who already work in challenging environments. Now, chairmen of 7 local government areas in Kwara South Senatorial District have ordered the immediate closure of all cattle markets within the district. The council chairman said the development was a sequel to the prevailing security realities in the district. The local government affected are Ifelodun, Isin, Irepodun, Ekiti, Okeru, Offa and Oyun. In a joint statement signed by the council chairman that described the decision as painful but necessary. They said the decision was arrived at after an extensive stakeholders engagement and reviews. While acknowledging and regretting the economic impact of the decision on the people, the chairman said they have chosen to prioritize the safety of lives and properties and adhering to long-term coordinated and structured security advice over and above short-term inconveniences. Reacting, the Miete Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria on Friday appealed to the Kwara government to urgently intervene in the closure of cattle markets in 7 local government areas in the state. This is News Update on Trust TV, coming up after the break. Inflation, devaluation push Nigerians' lower denominations out of use. More news stories when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the News Update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories once again. FCT doctors call off strike after Senate steps in. And Lagos residents fear homelessness as land grabbing spreads. Now moving on to more stories. 11 African nationals deported from the United States have filed a lawsuit against the government of Ghana, challenging their detention in a military facility after their arrival in Accra. Their lawyer, Oliver Baker Vomawo, said the deportees had not violated any Ghanaian law, making their continued detention unlawful. Court documents state that the individuals were first detained in a U.S. facility before being shackled and transported abroad in a military cargo aircraft to Ghana. Upon arrival, they were placed in custody at a military camp where they remain according to the filing. The Ghanaian government has not yet responded to the lawsuit. However, officials have previously confirmed plans to receive an additional 40 deportees under an arrangement with the United States. President John Mahama had announced last week that 14 West Africans were returned to Ghana under the deal and subsequently sent back to their respective countries of origin. In addition to the Ghanaian suits, 5 of the deportees, 3 Nigerians and 2 Gambians, have also filed the case against the U.S. government, claiming they were protected by a court order and should not have been deported. Now, Deputy Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has called for stronger parliamentary action to advance digital trade militarization. Speaking at the WTO IPU Steering Committee session of the WTO Public Forum 2025 in Geneva, he described digital trade as central to Africa's economic future and highlighted ongoing efforts through the African Continental Free Trade Area and its protocol on digital trade. Kalu cited Nigeria's Data Protection Act of 2023 and the forthcoming National Digital Economy Bill as examples of legislation anchoring trust and certainty in the digital space. He emphasized enforcement as key to effective rules, especially for smaller economies, and proposed 3 steps for coordinated action.
Promoting multilateralism through digital trade is not a mere footnote, a technical footnote. It is one of the defining governance, according to you, beyond governance, business private sector challenges of our time. It is a reality. The digital economy is no longer a distant promise. It is the daily reality of our entrepreneurs and the horizon of opportunity for our youths and our women, especially in Africa. Talking about Africa, in Africa, we have chosen not to wait for others to write our future. Through what my brother Azel mentioned, the FCT and this protocol on digital trade, we are building our own regional multilateralism, a blueprint for a harmonized, integrated digital market.
Now, a fresh outbreak of cholera in Bauchi State has claimed 58 lives and infected at least 258 people. This is according to official reports from the state government. The outbreak has so far affected 14 local government areas of the state, raising concerns within the government about the rapid spread of the disease. In response to the growing crisis, the Bauchi State government has inaugurated the Cholera Steering Committee chaired by the Deputy Governor, Awal Jato, alongside a technical working group headed by the Commissioner for Health, Sani Dambam. Speaking during the inauguration ceremony, Jato emphasized the urgent need for coordinated action. Jato tasked members of the committees with leading efforts to save lives and prevent further spread of the disease. And now in business, due to prolonged inflation and the continuous devaluation of the naira, lower denominations of the Nigerian currency, especially coins and smaller notes, now have very little purchasing power. To this end, Nigerians hardly use these smaller denominations, particularly coins, for everyday transactions in most markets across the country, making Nigerians question why government still spends money producing them. The report.
Although 1 and 2 naira coins, as well as the 50 kobo, remain official legal tender recognized by the Central Bank of Nigeria, these denominations have become scarce due to inflation and hoarding. This scarcity poses challenges for petty traders and those engaged in small-scale transactions.
5
naira is disappearing. Talkless of coins. Even children nowadays don't know coins. People reject coins because of their heaviness.
As far as legal constitution, coin is still a legal tender in the market, and the reason why I think this is slowly and gradually disappearing is that there is no value exchanger of that coin. Let's take an example. Why people refuse to accept those coins in the bank is a lot of customers, if they come, okay, assuming they want to draw 2,000 naira, then you bring 50 naira of 1 naira coin and attach it to their 2,000 naira, they will not accept it, and you will not blame them. You ask why, they will tell you there is no value for 1 naira or 2 naira or 3 naira, even 5 naira now.
While coins and smaller notes are fast disappearing from circulation, Abubakar displays them as historic artifacts. I keep them here to showcase, especially for small children. Many people come here to see the coins and small denominations. Experts say the limited circulation of small notes and coins is largely the result of their diminished value.
For reason because of inflation. Inflation eroded the value of coins to a point that your coins cannot buy you any item even if they sweet in the market. Yes. So there's no point carrying it because you cannot carry something that will not serve your purpose. You cannot carry something or accept it or use it for anything when you know that it cannot be used for settlement, it cannot be used for payment, it cannot be used for anything other than official transaction in payment. When official payment.
They add that weak economic fundamentals, including heavy reliance on oil export, high import dependence, and corruption, have contributed to persistent currency instability.
And what I think, if we need this coin to work as other countries, like when you go to Europe, Asia, even Arab countries, they are still using their coin. Their cents, their kobos, they all use it. Why? Because they are in the economy of production, while we are in the economy of consumer.
The lowest denominations that are still used in circulation for daily transactions today are 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira, and 50 naira notes, which are now printed on a durable polymer substrate. Bella Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
Now, away from Nigeria, former Ivorian President Laurent Gbagbo has stated that he will not endorse any candidate in the forthcoming presidential election, despite being declared ineligible to run in the upcoming election. Gbagbo has announced that he will not support any of the candidates approved by the Constitutional Council. His party spokesperson, Habiba Toure, stated that a lack of consensus and legitimacy among the candidates prevented any endorsement. Toure emphasized that the candidates put forward by the Constitutional Council do not represent the larger political parties in the country. Among the top contenders in the county's top seat are Simon Gbagbo, the former wife of Laurent Gbagbo. Gbagbo, who has consistently opposed the current president Alassane Ouattara's bid for a fourth term, calls this situation a violation of constitutional law. The fundamental Ivorian law limits presidents to 2 terms, but the council argues that a new constitution adopted in 2016 reset the term counter. With that, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do well to follow us on all of our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream to stay informed. I am Yemena Bagudu. Have a good evening.